Hello, and welcome to Philosophy 103 Critical Thinking. In this video, I'm going to walk us through the requirements for this course. This follows very closely the syllabus, so you can take a look at the document that's the syllabus if you'd like, or you can just watch this video, whatever is easier for you. So, in this course, students develop thinking and reasoning skills required for the critical assessment of information. This course focuses on particular methods applied to case studies from sources such as editorials, essays, propaganda, advertisements, and newspaper reports. The course outcomes for this course, these are what you would find in the catalog if you looked. So, after successfully completing this course, students should be able to identify the premises and conclusions and arguments in order to critically assess readings from diverse sources, write clear, sympathetic paraphrases of arguments from actual discourse in order to clarify assumptions that people make when proposing conclusions, analyze passages involving complex arguments, multiple arguments, and counterarguments in order to understand the complexities of communication, and finally, write coherent, clear arguments and counterarguments in order to effectively communicate one's own point of view, engaging in conversations with others. So, if those all sounded pretty professional, that is true. These are the kinds of things that you find in the course catalog if you look up this course. Generally speaking, moving forward will be a little bit loose, a little bit more loose than this. So, the course for this textbook is called A Workbook for Arguments, a Complete Course in Critical Thinking. It's by David Morrow and Anthony Weston. It's by Hackett Publishing Company, and it was published in 2019. So we're going to be using the third edition of this book. There is also a second edition that was published in 2016. This isn't the edition that we want. I'm going to show some pictures of the editions of the book that we want and the one we don't. So if you see it on the shelf, you'll know what you're looking for. In addition, if you like books, I like books, please buy the book if you would like. It costs about $30. I just looked it up on Amazon. You can get it for $30. The Kindle edition is about half that, $15, if that's what you would like. Also, I will be posting a PDF of each chapter of the book each week. So one of the benefits of living in a coronavirus world is that people are a little bit less pushy about just putting books on our course page. So I'm going to do that. So if you're happy with that, then cool. If you'd like to buy the book, then please buy the book. But either way, it should be all right. So this is the book we need, A Workbook for Arguments. It's kind of this green color, and it's pretty thick. It's maybe 1 inch or a little bit more thick, so it's a pretty good book. This is not the book. So this is the second edition, this yellow version, and that is not what we're looking for. If you somehow end up with the second edition rather than the third, it'll probably work out okay. Just let me know, and we can sort of work through it. But as I said, I'm going to post PDFs of the chapters anyway. The second and third edition are pretty close together, but not exactly the same. All right. My instructor communication policy. I'm available through email or Canvas message or face-to-face through Zoom while we work through the pandemic. I will also be posting my student hours, which are a few hours a week that I'm available through Zoom if you have any questions or if you'd just like to chat. So these are some hours where I will just be hanging out in my Zoom space, and if you want to stop by, you're welcome to. So please make use of that if you would like. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any problems or you need any support. In most cases, I'll return your emails within 24 hours, usually much faster. The email on my computer is giving me a headache right now, so that I will get that fixed in the next few days, and then I usually respond very fast through email. A little bit slower through Canvas message, but I almost always get back to students pretty quick. One possible exception is that sometimes I take Saturdays off, so if you email me, in the middle of the day Saturday, I might not get to it until I log in on Sunday. So, but otherwise, I'm pretty quick at replying. The course requirements for this course, there are a variety of assignments. 20% of your grade will be made up of weekly exercises. These are the assignments that we do each week. There's quite a few of these, but they're pretty small. Each assignment is pretty small. There's discussion boards, which is also 20% of your grade. And these two things happen each week. I'm going to talk about them more here in a moment. There's also 3 argument analysis papers, 1, 2, and 3. These are about 3 pages apiece, so it'll give you the opportunity to apply the lessons we learn in class to an argument of your choice. I'll talk about this more in a moment. And there'll also be a final exam, which I call it an exam, but it's a take-home opportunity to review what we've looked at in the class. And I find these assignments that encourage students to go back and sort of review are tremendously beneficial so that, we can kind of remember where we've been together. So now I'll talk about each of the assignments, the weekly exercises. The book for this course is broken down into a collection of numbered rules and exercise sets that support each rule. The weekly exercises are basically going to involve working through sort of each of these exercise sets. We'll work through all of the odd-numbered exercises together for the most part, and you'll be graded on the even exercises from each of these exercise sets. Now, don't worry about having to remember the odd and the even part. I will put each question I want you to answer in the assignment, so it should be pretty straightforward. But we're mostly going to be working from the book. There's also a couple of kinds of discussion boards in this class. We're, of course, going to have the traditional text discussion board, and then something, if you've taken my class before, something you know that I'm kind of obsessed with getting to work, are these video discussion boards. And there'll be more information about this on the video discussion board assignment for this week. Now, for the text discussion boards, I'd like 1 weekly text discussion board post and then 2 replies. So each week there'll be 1 discussion board post due by Thursday and 2 replies to your classmates due by Sunday. So I can only make the assignments have 1 due date, which in this case is going to be Thursday. So it's up to you to remember that you have to reply to your classmates by Sunday. And I'll just sort of say that generally the way that I have things set up in this class, there is quite a bit of action on the discussion boards after about Thursday, so you don't have to worry about everybody waiting until Sunday. Each discussion board post is worth 5 points, and then each reply is worth 2.5 points. For the most part, the only time these points come up is if you don't do one of the replies. All right, as for the video discussion board, 1 weekly video discussion board post and 1 weekly reply. Each week, there's also going to be a short question that I want you to answer in a video post. My intention here is to encourage us to try to see each other as people and not just words coming across the screen. It certainly helps me. I enjoy it quite a bit. You can use any media that you would like for this assignment. I think that the easiest thing to do is turn on your webcam and start recording a short video if you have access to that. Otherwise, you can record a video on your phone and either upload it to your computer or post it to the discussion board using the Canvas app. And I'll put a few links to some helpful web pages to help figure out how to do these things. But as far as I'm concerned, you can do any kind of thing that you would like for this assignment as long as it's some sort of multimedia. And each video discussion board post is worth 5 points, and each reply is also worth 5 for the 10. My grading policy for the weekly exercises and the discussion boards, I grade on what I call an 8, 9, 10 scale. So this means that any reasonable attempt at the assignment will receive a minimum of an 80%. I grade this way because I don't want you to be afraid that your grade's going to suffer if you don't know how to answer a question or because you try something new out in the weekly assignments. And my feedback on each assignment will include a description of what you're doing well and what you can do to improve for the next time in the case where you didn't get the full score. I will say most of the time people do pretty well. I definitely give out a lot more 10s than 8s or 9s on these assignments. So The late policy for weekly exercises and discussion boards. This is a little complicated, but hang with me. It'll make sense once we get to the end. I set the due dates for each assignment to mimic an in-person class that meets twice per week. So my intention is to try to encourage you to spread out the work throughout the week. But I don't enforce a late penalty on weekly exercises and discussion boards. Instead, each week's assignment closes on Monday at 8 a.m. the next week, right? And they're no longer accessible. This being said, if you need extra time to complete a week's assignments for any reason, let me know before Monday at 8 a.m., and I'm happy to give you more time. So basically how this works is that the assignments in this class have two due dates. They're either due on Tuesdays or they're due on Thursdays. But that being said, one way to think about it is actually due until the following Monday after it's posted at 8 a.m. I like to give you the full Sunday night, so Monday until 8 a.m. to work on your homework. And at that point, the assignments are no longer available. But there, as I say, if you need an extension for any reason, just let me know before the due date, and I'm happy to give you an extension. If you contact me after the assignment is due, I'm pretty much not going to give you an extension. So the reason I do this is so that I can just know where everybody is in the class, and if people are falling behind a little bit, which is totally okay, it happens, but I just like to know who's a little bit behind so that I can help support them through the class. And this leaves it so that I don't end up having to grade a million assignments in the last week. So I think it's a pretty natural system, and it's worked pretty well. So that is how this works. Now for argument analysis paper 1, 2, and 3. These assignments are going to be short, 3 to 5 page papers focusing on an argument from your life that matters to you. These assignments will give you the opportunity to practice what we've learned through the weekly exercises, and I'll distribute more information about these assignments closer to the due date. Broadly speaking, one of these papers will be due about every 3 to 4 weeks or so. So not too big of a deal. These just sort of naturally follow from our weekly work, and I always try to give you a little bit of extra space in the week when these are due so that you have the time to get them done. The late policy for these argument papers, your argument paper will receive a 5% penalty for each day it's late, up to 25%. So this means you have 5 days, 5% a day. And then once it's up, you get up to 25% lost. You don't lose any more points. I do this so that there's a good reason to turn the paper in on time, right? 5% a day is a very stiff penalty. But I also want there to always be a reason to turn in the papers, no matter how late they are. And similar to the daily assignments, if you need an extension before the paper's due, just let me know, and I'm happy to give it to you for whatever reason. Now the final exam. The final exam for this class will cover material from throughout the quarter. A study guide will be given out before the final exam. There'll be no surprises. If you regularly take part in class and you do the weekly work, the final exam will just sort of be an extension of this. And testing centers don't really exist right now, but in any case, you don't have to go anywhere. You can take the exam from home. There's no special considerations. It'll be just like any other assignment. And as I said earlier, it'll be a nice opportunity to review the material from the class. All right, so I just wanted to end by telling you all that thank you for taking this class. I really do appreciate it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to getting to know you all. If you ever have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I hope that we have a great quarter.